We're here watching the sunrise in Rural Retreat, Virginia, ladies and gentlemen. Thought I'd do a quick live stream this morning. This is not going to be a long one. So it's Sunday morning. It's right at 7 o'clock in the morning, and let's do a quick check here. I gotta hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta do something. It's okay. I had to check. There's 15 days and 18 hours until election day. Although, really, um, you should vote early. I think we're gonna vote Friday, my wife and I. So, um, StreamYard, StreamYard, through which I got this $25 a month plan, which allows me to stream indefinitely. Just that there's no limit on how long you can stream. If you don't have that, they only let you stream 20 hours a month, which is really plenty. But since I had the StreamYard plan, I just figured I would go ahead and take advantage of it. So I've been doing ridiculously long streams and everything, and it's good to hang out with friends that are in other parts of the country. But I was awakened, well, this morning, and one of the first things I heard this morning is that our bank account may be overdrawn. And she says, I'm supposed to go out and get some things this morning for my wife for her work shift, to help keep her awake. And she says, don't buy that because we may be overdrawn for a few days, And I'm saying, well, what happened? And she said, StreamYard, when did StreamYard go up to like $45 a month? And I said, I didn't know that. It was 25 a month. So apparently, about a month ago, StreamYard, I guess they sent an email somewhere to, but I've got about 75,000 emails I haven't read. And so I didn't see that they'd raised the rates by 80%, ladies and gentlemen. I guess it's probably they don't want people really communicating with each other too much. But so you know we're kind of down to the line right now because we just paid property tax. So my goodness gracious, horrible. So there is a look. There's only one person watching, but there is GoFundMe. You could help us out. I mean, if you're enjoying these long, magnificent streams where we take you everywhere, we go to comic book conventions like yesterday, and we have special guests on. If you enjoy those long form streams, I'm gonna have $45. That's insane. That's like having cable television, and I can just do shorter streams and deal with the 20. That's 20 hours a month is plenty. I won't be able to have the nice Piggly Wiggly. It'll just be a picture of a duck or whatever the heck StreamYard uses as their stupid logo. And the picture looks like shit on StreamYard. But more people, hold on a second, blowing some hair off the phone because I changed my beard. I wasn't sure what these things were that my mother-in-law sent to us a couple of weeks ago, but apparently they're Christmas tree ornaments. My wife told me. I thought maybe you hung them from your rear view mirror or something. sent a bunch of these things, man. So I'm gonna go put these on the Christmas tree now. Um, but anyway, yeah, if you could help out with the GoFundMe, just we've got a standing GoFundMe that's for my wife's. Like her health has prevented her from working a bunch of days. Like yesterday, she wasn't able to work, and so if you could help, just add a little bit of money into that standing GoFundMe to help me cover this $45 expenditure. Then I can go get her the stuff. She's asleep right now. That's the last thing she told me before she went to sleep. But you know, StreamYard had gone mad. Anyway, let's go put these up. Okay, so Drew the dog, you're don't bogart that chair, Drew. I'm gonna go put. Oh my God, let's go put these on the tree, man. Merry Christmas. Yeah, maybe StreamYard is just a victim of the economy, or maybe they just don't want people, um, you know, talking to each other during these times. So, which branch would look good? Let's put you guys down. Oh man, I do. So, how does that look, ladies and gentlemen? You can see. This is something I've had on the Christmas tree ever since I was a little kid. I've actually got two of those because I have one for my childhood and one I found at a garage sale like in the last 10 years. I don't really remember which one's which, but there's all these science fiction kind of ornaments that we got at Target about 10 years ago. Anyway, decorating the Christmas tree. This morning I hauled a box down. I want to look at Harvey comics. Oh no, my God. Heavens no. The dog has done something horrible here. The dog has hauled a turd out of the kitty litter box. And, my God. Okay. God, that's horrific. She pulls a turd from the kitty litter box and puts it on the couch. Un-American. True, that's communist behavior. Okay, so I've got the vacuum cleaner, which looks like something Mark Goddard would have carried in Lost in Space. And could we possibly make any more noise with my wife sleeping, Drew? Oh, the sun has arisen. Let's see if there's any chemtrails in the sky this morning. Look at that, man. All right. Yeah, let's look at some Harvey comics this morning. I just hauled a box down of Harvey comics. As I was about to say before I discovered a turd on the couch. Um, Man, my wife doesn't like me using this stuff. She says it's really bad, but I'm gonna use it. All right, so Harvey comics is some. I got a few new Harvey comics, so I brought my a box down to files the new Harvey comics I got in the box, and then that give me an opportunity to look at all my Harvey comics and reminisce about the days when I first started reading Harvey comics. Nixon would have been president. Yeah, yeah. I don't really have any memories, very few memories of when LBJ was president, and I certainly wasn't buying comics then. In '68, I would have been 3 when Nixon became president. So, my early um, accumulation, my beginnings as a collector would have been during the Nixon administration. Okay, so, oh yes. So we were recording some cartoons here this morning, and man, I just got some good news though this morning. I didn't get good news about StreamYard. That's a bunch of BS. My my wife was talking to our nephew in Texas, and he was talking about his favorite music, and so my wife plays this song that's apparently his favorite song, and it's like, holy smoke! This young generation that's coming up now, maybe. It could be that the pendulum has swung so far one way into horribleness that this new generation coming up just can't stand what they're being taught and shown, and what's being foisted on them, that they may flip back to a better time. Um, I forgot what her name is. Let me see. It's some singer from Iceland that apparently this song has 35 million views. So that means it's a pretty big song, but I was completely unaware. This singer apparently emerged on the scene just in the last few years, since the year 2000. And I have to say, I'm very encouraged if this is what's happening with, if the younger kids now are discovering artists like this, and you think I hate everything, but I really am always looking for good new stuff. And then this is an artist I can get behind. Let's see. It's like, sounds like jazz, like Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. Really, it sounds like '60s French girl singers to me. Let's see if I can't find, I don't know, probably get a copyright claim if I play it too long. Her name is Laufey, and I may be pronouncing it wrong. Laufey. Do you know of this artist? Let's see. I'd better just play it for a second. Yikes! If it turns out to be, if you don't hear the music, that means that YouTube's forced me to edit the music out. It's too copywritten. But see, what I'm doing right now is giving this artist exposure. I don't know that she actually, it says 2.1 million views. I don't know if she needs my help, a channel that barely has over 700 views. But it seems like, why do you want to create problems for people that are trying to clue people into good music? I think it's really good. Um, let's take a look here. Um, yeah, let's see. This artist. Well, let's go to her account. Let's see what's going on. Go to channel. Maybe if I just play a little bit, it won't be a problem. Yeah, she has 1.83 million subscribers. I thought my wife told me 35 million. Maybe it's the other song. Where? What was the other song we were listening to? Oh, it's this one. This is the song that he said that our nephew said was his favorite song. It's called Lofty from the Start. See, it sounds like 60s French. Don't you know just how I get quiet when there's no one else around? See, now look, 38 million views. So this is a good sign. I mean, this is pretty great stuff, I have to admit. Okay, enough of that because, okay, man, two people watching. I thought there'd be tons of people watching at 7:15. That's people on the West Coast. It's barely after 5 in the morning. But I need to not do a live stream while my wife's working later because if she needs something, I need to be able to be up there to bring it to her quickly. So that's all. Um, if anyone wants to come on, the link is here. I kind of don't think so. Okay, so you're welcome to, though. I'm just going to look at these comic books here and then call it a day. There's there's a really insane thing I have discovered also yesterday. Um, I don't really know what to think of it. It's I'll have to show you these things. Um, okay, first of all, let me show you this. In the middle of the night on Friday night, yeah, I was on this show here. It's late late night with light or late with Light Tiger Comics, horror comics. So I was on this show. If you go to Night Tiger Comics, I'm looking through my history here. Um, um, there's a really good source for Christmas music here. Um, Not that this is a good example of it, but it's, oh man, that's pretty horrible. But it's a channel called Christmas Records. You go to the channel and they've got lots of classic Christmas albums. I would recommend this for your Christmas because it's about time to start playing Christmas music. Okay. Okay. Where is this thing? Okay. Give you rest. It's this channel. This is an insane channel. It's called Bible Unleashed, and it's just fun. It's I don't know. I mean, is it just it doesn't make fun of religion, but I mean, is it disrespectful? I don't know. It's sort of, I don't know the spirit in which this was done. I mean, it's basically Jesus meeting pop culture people and giving them advice, and I I don't know if this gets little kids. I don't know. The children should be watching this. If this gets people saved, but I mean, they're putting words in Jesus' mouth, which is probably blasphemous. But the moment Eeyore found Jesus, it's like,
Strength? Me? I'm not strong, just persistent, I guess. But it's tiring, you know? I'm always sad, always feeling like I don't belong. It's hard to see the point.
they're all AI pictures.
Your persistence is a form of strength, even if it doesn't feel like it. And I know it's hard to carry the weight of.
So this is the moment 50 plus Marvel heroes met Jesus.
Future beyond the physical realm. T'Challa, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Defend the rights of the poor and needy.
I see what advice he gives the Sorcerer Supreme. That sounds. These are starting in the middle because I'd watched a little bit of them.
Redemption is always possible through grace. Remember, there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Walk the path of forgiveness. Stephen, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him. True wisdom is found in faith and humility. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future beyond the physical realm. T'Challa.
Yeah, but you just got to go through. Um, the moment Goku found Jesus, this one looks good. The moment Dracula found Jesus.
It has been long and filled with pain. Would you share your story with me?
My story is one of darkness and regret. I was once Vlad Tepes, a prince. I sought power and vengeance.
Let's get to the advice Jesus gives Dracula.
I've lived in darkness for so long that the idea of turning to the light feels almost impossible. Yet there is a part of me that longs for peace. How can I trust that this path will lead to redemption?
Trust comes from faith. In Hebrews 11:1 it is written, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Trust that
This is the moment DC's most iconic heroes meet Jesus. Hope this isn't getting me copyright claims.
Let your heart remain steadfast.
Giving advice to Captain Marvel.
The greatest battle is won through love.
Let's see. The moment Spider-Man found Jesus.
Peter, but your efforts are not in vain. Each act of kindness, each life you save, brings light into the world. It may seem small in the face of a
Understanding.
So let's see. What else? At the moment Thanos found Jesus. I haven't seen this one yet. The moment Hercules found Jesus.
Thanos, may I join you?
Who are you?
I am G.
Can you imagine if they put this in Avengers Endgame, this scene?
Forgiveness is not easy, but it is the way to truth.
Maybe that would mention if that at the end of the movie, that's how they conquer Thanos. The moment the moment Frankenstein's monster found Jesus.
To be loved, to be accepted, and I tell you now, you are.
I don't know. What do you think? I mean, do you think this is blasphemous or? I mean, it's.
You are not defined by your mistakes.
Man, look how big he is compared to Jesus. There, this AI really is impressed with Frankenstein's size.
Peace is not distant, it is within reach.
Okay, so that's my advice. Seek out that singer. What was her? I don't even remember her name. Was it Lofi or something? And Lo-Fi, something like that. And this Bible Unleashed channel provides a little bit of entertainment. Oh, the moment Jesus saved Donald Trump, they've done that. Oh boy, they're going there, huh?
That's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old.
Oh man. Oh, this one's not as good. The moment Superman found Jesus, there's not that many of them, but oh, someone different tunes says hi Greta and Greta, it's Bush. Oh, yes, hello there. She's asleep. Um, that's yeah, she's asleep. She's gonna get up right before she starts work. But I just discovered that I was just I'm just showing stuff I've discovered on YouTube and sharing the horrible revelation that I found that StreamYard has done away with a lot of their plans, and now they only have two plans. One's like $45 a month. The one's like $90 a month. That's for the ultra sophisticated. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to keep paying $45 a month for the streamer. We were paying 25. Actually, we had a mysterious benefactor that was helping out with the $25 a month, but I'm not going to expect him to help with, when they go up 80%. The mysterious benefactor that you all know that comes on the show a lot has been secretly funding and bankrolling the Gratu Orloff Inspirational Network. But now, if you want me to keep going I'll keep going with the $45, but you guys got to help me a little bit because these are times of low. Who knows? Maybe the economy will change, or maybe the world will be burned into a cinder. We don't know what's going to happen over the next few weeks and months, but we'll see. Okay, so I've got to fill up this disc. Um, my goodness. Uh, so. So anyway, Harvey Comics. Box is backwards. I still have my Harvey Comics in a long box. Long boxes are a problem. I have to tell you, um, because they do a number on you when you're older. But I don't know. I mean, maybe you can work out with long boxes. Let's see. See if I can. It's something for you, boys and girls. Guess what it is? Well, here's a hint. It's the latest thing in space patrol equipment. Something new and different that you thought could happen using on today's program. Can't tell you what it is because right now it's a space patrol secret. But get pencil and paper ready. I don't want to lift it over my head. I don't want to take the risk of dropping all these valuable Harvey comics. Actually, they're not that valuable. And I doubt many people will even care, except for people like Captain Strangeliffe that, like me, grew up with Harvey comics. Maybe there's some people out there. Actually, I'm sure there are a lot of the people that watch this channel would care. But the sticky goose kind of people that just got into comic collecting 4 or 5 years ago that listened to Comic Tom 101 or whatever to find out what to invest in and what to buy. Those people, I'm laughing because this box isn't totally filled. So I must have gotten this book for a quarter. I think I got this book for a quarter at a garage sale with a bunch of stack of books. And so I've used this show you. I've used this book to fill up space, and it's a Bill Maher, the horrible Bill Maher. Although Bill Maher has more common sense than most Democrats, I must say he's kind of anyway. I don't really like Bill Maher. That's why his book is being used to keep the Casper comics from sagging in the box. So that's what you should do. Go to actually, some people use pieces of foam to if the comic box isn't completely filled. The real solution is to buy more Casper comics and Hot Stuff comics and then fill the box up. And speaking of that, I've got a few over here that I just got from the Cheapskate comic claim sale. So let's no, it's not Cheapskate. It's Cheap Comic Collector does claim sales, $2 claim sales several days a week, and Psychotronics and Sticky Goose. No, Psychotronic Squirt Gun, I believe. Yeah. So I've got three new Harvey comics. Not quite the thickness of a worthless Bill Maher book, but you'll love them. You sure will. Oh my gosh. Have you ever eaten a cat turd, ladies and gentlemen? What does it taste like? Why do dogs like them so much? There's I follow a cat on Instagram and on Truth Social named Cat Turd. Have you aware of Cat Turd? He's posting all the time. I recommend you follow Cat Turd. Oh, there's a new David Wilcock show today. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to. Okay, let's take a look. Let's begin. Astro Comics, 1970. Let me let me move you fellers over here. Well, I'm sorry, you guys and gals. Apparently, we have a lady watching today. Normally, it's a sausage fest here. There's usually only guys watching on this show because it's about comic collecting, which is one of the most nerdy and horrible things that you could possibly do in the collecting world. Let's see, what do I got? Richie Rich, a little Lotta, and a Casper. Oh, I'm going to soon be getting a Joe Palooka Harvey comic, courtesy of Kevin Johnson of Gotham City Comics. Yesterday, he went to a convention. You can watch it on a live stream, and he found this pile of $5 comics. All of those. I was talking to Meyer later, and people, I think, I don't know who it was that was posting on my posted it later on there. It's like, I would have bought every one of those comics. Meyer and I were saying, this guy had $5 comics that I was like, how is that $5? It's a 60-year-old, 70, 80-year-old, whatever. They were great, and they were all in really pretty good condition. But I think there were four of them, and Kevin just, here, I'll buy them for you and just pay me back. He's the nicest guy in the world, man. It's the best comic store on several planets. It's Gotham City Comics, 480. It's in Mesa, Arizona. Call that number. He's not open today or tomorrow. He'll be open again on Tuesday. So call him up. He's got everything, and he's all into monsters too. So he's one of us. That's ladies and gentlemen. Gotham City Comics, one of our sponsors. Okay, so what the heck is Astro Comics? This is a comic they would give kids on American Airlines. They don't do that anymore. You fly with your parents, they give you a free comic book. In the year 1970. I suppose the back cover is where you could color your own picture. Your favorite comic book characters to keep as a reminder of your Astrojet flight. Yeah, there they give you the layout of the plane. I'm sure they gave you a box of crayons with this. There's a picture of you on the jet. But it's that's that's Spooky's girlfriend there. And that's Spooky. Spooky was the tough little ghost. He was a friend of Casper. He's kind of a mean ghost. Harvey Comics had put out some ghastly, horrible horror comics in the early 50s with scenes of torture and impalement and disembowelment. And 1954 and into 1955, the Comics Code came along. This doesn't have a Comics Code because this wasn't distributed through news dealers anyway. Most comic book companies, Gold Key and Dell didn't participate, but most of the others came up with their own self-censoring board that would make sure comics would no longer be filled with horror and crime, juvenile delinquency, and giant Russ Meyer looking women. So Harvey became tamer, and the extreme horror was gone. And then they brought in this covert horror with cute little ghosts and cute witches instead of witches that would, eat you. And demons, ghosts, witches, and demons, and really rich kids, and very fat kids, and obsessive compulsive kids that are obsessed with dots. And their whole life is devoted to having dots on things. That's probably like basically little dot is kind of like Asperger's or something. Um, oh, I should show you the. Oh, and they had little Audrey too. She came from the old cartoon. I mean, ooh, GI Joe, man. This is the first GI Joe commercial from 1965.
Terrific equipment to have a battle with. When you get G.I. Joe and the authentic G.I. Joe equipment, you'll have the greatest realism, the greatest fun you ever had in playing soldier. Box after box of authentic.
Terrific fun, kids. You can restage Guadalcanal. It's just like, oh, I never refrigerated the tea I bought yesterday. What kind of communism? This is what happens when I get invited on live streams in the middle of the night. I get very forgetful. I need to refrigerate that. Yeah. Um,
G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe.
okay, let me show you something. Casper obviously started in the Paramount cartoons, and so did Little Audrey. But most of the characters that were put out by Harvey were created for the comics, like Richie Rich, Little Dot, Little Lotta. All of these characters never were in cartoons. Maybe they were in the 90s, but that doesn't count. But the first appearance of Little Dot, well, there was some cartoon, I think maybe 15 years ago, where they tried to update them as urban kids, but it wasn't Little Dot the way you'd remember it. Um, let me show you something. When the internet first started, it was confusing to baby boomers. They didn't know what are you talking about? What is the internet? What is this dot stuff? This dot com? So I guess some advertising executive said, well, these baby boomers, they read Little Dot when they were kids. So why don't we make a commercial? Because ABC was starting their online web page, and they said, well, we'll show them, we'll get into their head.com by having Little Dot dancing around doing the 60s dance that the baby boomers will a dance called the dot. And that's how we'll get get the idea that you have to put .com. So I'm going to type in little dot ABC. I was talking about this the other day, and I doubt any of you looked it up, but it's so cool. I want you to see it. Let's see if we can conjure this up, ladies and gentlemen. I think we found it here. It looks like there's several ones. Let's see here. Doing the diet, doing ABC. When you click your see, your hands be connecting to ABC. I'll take you to the stars and shows that are hot. For desktop from the dark Mars to fly. Puzzles, games, and poetry. You're just one click away from ABC. Doing the diet, doing the ABC. Doing the ABC. There were several versions of that. Let's see if this one's different. This one might have better volume. It would have been cool if there had been a little dot cartoon. Can you imagine growing up with a little dot cartoon animated like this? But something we were cheated out of. Maybe in some alternate timelines. Yeah, she was always a really cute character. Yeah. Let's watch it from another source. See, Drew is trying to sleep. She's burying her head. I can't take the little dots anymore, man. Let's see. What has someone done here? What kind of insanity have we got here? Someone doing a little fan edit of an imaginary little dot opening. What kind of nonsense is that? Oh, this is a low quality one. Well, enough of that. Paranoid Android says, morning. Good morning. Good morning. We've danced the whole night through. Yeah, Paranoid Android was arguing with Zork yesterday about about Cliff High. That was amusing. Where are my first Schlugen? Oh, there they are. My glasses. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, I need my glass. That's why I was looking. We should go outside and see if there's some. Yesterday morning, there was an assault of chemtrails here at the Hotel Orloff. There were about 30 chemtrails above us, all crisscrossed. And I wonder if they're going to be doing it on a Sunday morning, or if they will be resting. Do Moloch worshipers rest on Sunday morning? I don't know. The world may never know. Okay. I'm going to put my tea in the refrigerator if you don't mind.
Good evening, and welcome to the Children's Theater on TV 17. Containing strange inhabitants from an unknown.
I'll be back.
Earth.
Pure leaf. No sugar.
WGN Television, Channel 9, Chicago.
Yeah, I need to uh, see if there's any chemtrails. It looks like they're taking the day off, man. Oh, if you're just tuning in, we're having some financial difficulties here at the Garage Orloff Inspirational Network. We found that the StreamYard raised their rates by 80%, apparently notifying customers through some email, but they just went ahead and raised the rates, and that hit us at a bad time. So now that may have us actually overdrawn. So we've got a standing GoFundMe for my wife's what's been going on with my wife's health. But if you could add a few bucks to that GoFundMe, which is it still here? Yeah, there it is. Send some, copy that down or click on the link in the chat. And then I don't like this theme song for Bob Wilkins. It's kind of obnoxious. Oh well. Okay. So anyway, the Harvey cast. This is the pretty much. Well, oh, I forgot about Baby Huey. He also started in cartoons. Wendy. There were some cartoons with Wendy right around 1960 that were made for television where she was with Casper, and Casper had a horse Nightmare, and then there's Spooky, and there's Little Audrey, and Baby Huey, Richie Rich, and of course Hot Stuff, the baby demon wearing a diaper. Um, Pets like to fly too, it says. Yeah, no, they don't really like to be down in the cargo hold in a cage. It not good. Yeah, here's this 1970. Here's, explaining to kids, like a kid's ever going to read that much text about the pilots and the stewardess. I don't know. Maybe it gives something for the parents to read to their kid on the long flight. But anyway, a special meal for you. They gave you a cheeseburger and fries on the airplane back in 1970, huh? All right, look at this. Casper's meeting, basically a Tinkerbell kind of character. Pretty neat. This is like I was saying earlier, uh, something you would get on the airplane if you were flying. They'd give you a comic and maybe some crayons to keep you to shut you up. Yeah, so you don't make a lot of noise. I remember around 1970 flying on an airplane. I mean, It might have been flying back from Germany or across the ocean. I remember there was some movie playing, and it was just some gangster movie, and people were just getting shot up. It was it's probably Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia or something like that. It was something. Here's another one. Astro Comics. Oh, there's another book in here that was keeping the books from sagging that I must have gotten for a quarter at a garage sale. Heaven is for Real. Little boy's astounding story of his trip to heaven and back. There's the kid. Um, I haven't read that book either. Let's see. So that brings us to Baby Huey. I wish I had more Baby Huey I wish I had more of all. Everything's wonderful about Harvey Comics. The colors. Now, I think that just about everything around 1975 got a little uglier. Harvey's comics were never as cool looking after 1975, 76. Uh, Archie comics lost their glow, and it wasn't me changing. The books changed. One part of it was when the UPC code started being put on the front cover of comics. That cheapened their look, I think. Imp says, I have a Bob's Big Boy restaurant comic somewhere, not Harvey. Yeah, Bob's Big Boy, those were, when they first started, they had actual good art. Then they got people that looked like, um, they couldn't get hired. I'm doing Bob's Big Boy comics because I couldn't get hired at Charlton or whatever. Um, Bob's Big Boy, yeah, that was in some parts of the United States. It was the Big Boy chain, like where I was in Texas, it was Kip's Big Boy, KIP apostrophe S. So I guess there were different big boys in different parts of, it's kind of like the mob, right? You're in Kip country. You better go back to Bob country, man, because we run things different here in Kip country. But yeah, wasn't that a great thing? The whole mid-century look of one of those. Some of them were newly built, but the old big boy restaurants with the amazing statue of yeah, there was someone back in Dallas that had a real big boy statue that I guess was salvaged from a restaurant they were getting rid of and had it out by their pool. And they had their whole house was all 50s looking. It was some rich guy that would have parties and everyone would dress up in 50s clothes and it would look like the cast of Mad Men and they'd be playing, mod music and it looked like Hugh Hefner's After Dark show. It's just that I never went to one of his parties, but I knew people that did, and they've showed me pictures of what that party was like. It's like, damn, man, that's kind of interesting. Maybe all that will come back. Maybe that culture will come back. We'll see. Okay, man. I gotta. Yeah, man. Everything sucks, man. StreamYard really raising your price a little bit. Let's say raise it from 25 to 30, but raising it 80%. That's insanity. Let's watch some Space Angel. See, they don't run cartoons on TV anymore, so you have to create your own Saturday morning, and of course Sunday morning would have cartoons too, depending on where you lived. A lot of Sunday morning television was mostly religious programming, but then there'd be some channel that would have Davy and Goliath and maybe Jot the. Do you remember Jot the Dot? Does anyone in the chat remember Jot the Dot? The hell with this! I'm gonna look up Jot the Dot. Those cartoons were made in Dallas by the Baptist Association. And when I lived in Virginia, they just ran Davy and Goliath and Jot mixed in with Bugs Bunny on every afternoon. They didn't segregate the religious cartoons to Sunday morning. But Sunday morning, I think in the 60s, they had Maddie's Sunday Funnies. And I think that's where they had the Harvey cartoons on Sunday mornings, and maybe they ran Old Beanie and Cecil. There were certain cartoons that were kind of more Sunday staples, but Saturday was the day that was a monolith of cartoons, all big giant block. None of the networks do that anymore. Man, I didn't get enough sleep last night again either. I'm having trouble even thinking. Oh, Jot. Jot was one of these characters that was voiced by a woman because women's voices are more closely resemble little boys' voices, like they do with Bart Simpson. And of course, they didn't do that, with Charlie Brown and the Charlie Brown specials. They got a real little boy to be Charlie Brown's voice. Only problem is little boys grow up and then you got to get a new Charlie Brown because you waited a couple of years and his voice changed. Yeah. And Johnny Quest, the kid that was Tim Matheson that did the voice of Johnny Quest, who was later Otter, the ladies' man in National Lampoon's Animal House. That if next time you watch, if you did, you probably already know this, but if next time you watch Animal House, Otter is Johnny Quest, just grown up. Jot space. Then I'll need to type in cartoon because when I type in Jot, I'm getting some guy with a turban. Jot TV. That's not the Jot that I want. So maybe Jot is a Middle Eastern name. I'm assuming. So cartoon. In the Dallas Fort Worth area on Sunday mornings, there was a show called The Children's Hour, and there was a guy, Bill Kelly, who also did news sometimes but on Sunday morning, he did a kid show where he had a bunch of kids there, and every Sunday morning he would read all the Sunday funnies, and they would project them up, and he'd read with some kid all of the Sunday newspaper strips. Cartoon. I feel like I've been spinning around, then I stop and I feel a little dizzy because I just have not had proper sleep for several days in a row. Jot cartoon, will that work? Okay, here's a whole playlist of Jot cartoons. Why do they? Oh shoot! They've stretched it out to widescreen. I hate when they do that. Old TV shows weren't widescreen, and then they figure people won't accept it if there's black on the either side of the screen. So we've got to find someone that didn't do that ridiculous thing. Yeah, this really brings back memories. Jot, Popeye, things like this. Jot classics. This is. Do you remember this cartoon? This is. They always learned a lesson, and and we learned a lesson about God's world in this cartoon. Paranoid Android. Did you guys have a Sambo's restaurant where you grew up? Yes, absolutely. And there's a Sinclair gas station not far from mine with a giant brontosaurus statue outside. I'd love to have that thing. There is one close to me too, just the neighboring town with a gigantic, almost life-size brontosaurus painted, the green brontosaurus. I Yeah, I should go do a show from there. Why haven't I done that? I don't know. because I never leave more than a mile from my house practically. Um, yeah, why haven't I done that?
Good morning, John. Oh, good morning, Miss Anderson.
Baby Huey, the
Why, John?
the baby giant.
Your hands are dirty. Why you're
That's number 76.
Do you remember the Bible verses we learned? Children, wash your hands. No. Say your parents. Right, John.
Here's number 90.
And they both do. Yes, ma'am. From now on, I will.
This is Baby Huey and Papa. Different comic. Number 24. Incredible. This is a really nice cover. Number 26. He's on a rocket. Now we move to a different kind of Harvey comic because let's look at this guy. This is actually called Big Hero Adventures. And this issue, number 1, features Jigsaw, Man of 1,000 parts. So we open it and we'll see the date 1966 almost certainly because everybody was doing superhero comics desperately when Batman became a big success in January of 66 on ABC. So if you weren't doing superhero comics, you started doing them. And they're going to have lots of big sound effects too. Let's see here. This is September of 66. Yeah, see, I know my stuff. He was fighting a gorilla. This isn't Tony Tallarico art. At first, I thought it might be Tony Tallarico art, and I was reacting with horror, but it's better than Tony Tallarico. I don't know. Yeah, it might be just Tony Tallarico on a good day. Tony Tallarico is my nemesis. No, if Tony Tallarico was capable of this, he's better than I gave him credit for. But see, all the sound effects. I mean, comics have always had sound effects, but comic books, after Batman became a hit on TV, they turned it up, like in Spinal Tap, to 11. Not up to 10, but to 11. Oh, yeah, they also had a comic called Thriller-Rama with Piranha, who was kind of like an Aquaman Submariner character. In fact, there he is now. Piranha speaks out. And there's one of these Harvey Hero comics had the first, I think the first Jim Steranko stuff. And it might be the next one we see here. I don't know. No, I don't think so. This comic's called Blast Off. Presents fantastic new worlds with 3 Rocketeers. That's a really cool cover.
I'll give it back, and I'll never do it ever again.
What time is it?
I do this.
9 a.m.
I'm sorry.
I don't know when the Trump rally coverage is going to start. And then today's going to be 2 things I want to watch at the same time: the Trump rally and David Wilcock. That same thing happened, that same dilemma happened last Sunday. horrible dilemma. This one has much better art than the last one we were looking at. That almost, I think that is Al Williamson art. Yeah, 100%. It's Al Williamson. Look at that. I was thinking that almost looks like Al Williamson, but you don't expect to see Al Williamson art in a Harvey comic. I was like this. Grow live monsters. See, there's you can get the Adventures of Tiger Boy and Unearthly Spectaculars. That's a comic. I've never seen that comic that I know of. Dynamite Joe and Warfront. Imp says, my first Marvel comic newsstand purchase was Daredevil 154 in 1977, I think. Gene Colan cover and interior. Saw a picture of it online yesterday. Good memories. Cool. Well, that shouldn't be a hard comic to recover, although it's not going to be the actual original copy, but I wouldn't think that's a super valuable comic. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like maybe this is all Al Williamson art. This is yeah, that's Al Williamson. Um Wait a second. This is good stuff. Nice looking book here. Yeah, this is Kirby. This Yeah, this is Kirby stuff. That's weird, man. It's Kirby. I mean, it's Kirby inked by someone else, but clearly, I used to know that this was Kirby. But see, it's Kirby in '66 when he was pretty much the Marvel employee. But it doesn't list the artist names, which is unusual by '66, especially if you had star artists like Kirby and Al Williamson. I mean, unless he didn't really want Marvel to know. I don't know. Well, here is here's a pre-code horror comic. Black Cat Mystery number. It's December '52. It's number 41. This is interesting. I don't know how I got a coverless pre-code horror. This tape's too hard. Yeah, let me get this tape over. It might have come in one of those Lone Star Comics. This tape won't even come off. I got to cut it off. It might have come in one of those Buddy Saunders, the owner of Lone Star Comics. If a comic was unsellable, obviously a coverless comic is not something a comic store is going to put out in the bin. They would make bundles of comics and call it Wounded Wonders, and you'd get a big stack of comics this big, maybe that big, for I don't know, certain $10 or something, and then some of the stuff would be more damaged than others, but it was all guaranteed to be old stuff. That may be where I obtained this. So let's see, this is going to be more twisted horror stuff. I have to look and see what the cover of Black Cat number 41 looks like. I may have it reprinted in a PS Art Books book.
What do you mean? Well,
Here's a house ad.
got a lot about everything.
See that the other ones were Chamber of Chills, Witch's Tales, Black Cat Mystery. Black Cat Mystery had been a superhero comic, and it was switched over to a horror comic. Beast of Doom. But later she got real sick. How is that supposed to be a little boy's voice? It just sounds like a southern woman, like a very simple-minded southern woman. She died. Oh. This is a depressing cartoon. What's wrong with you, Jack? This is a one to help children deal with death, apparently. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should turn on something else. I've got 18 minutes I've got to fill up on this disc. This, I think I'm done being nostalgic for Jot the Dot. Here's a Harvey 60s comic, Black Cat. Not from the same numbering, unless they continued on with the numbering in the 60s and revived Black Cat. This has got some bad sun fading, as you can see. The devil should be red. See the good red on the back cover. That's how red this should be. But as they say, low grade is better than no grade. Everyone seems to say that. Yeah, I'd rather have this book than not have it. So, yeah, see, they've got Casper's Ghostland, Sad Sack Laugh Special, and then they have Black Cat, and then they were doing Blondie comics at the time. And do good. When was this? I'm trying. I think this might have been earlier, like Kennedy era. Where did the magnifying glass wind up yesterday? You shouldn't do that. What do you mean about marking in his book? Don't you know any better? Don't tell me you didn't do it. Look at the crayon in your hand. Here, take the book you've selected, but don't you mark in it. Trust in the Lord and do good. Librarian. I'm moving your dog bed, Drew, over here. I think this will be better over here, Drew. You could be closer to me. The librarian at the church called. I didn't do anything. She didn't say you did. She said she was sorry. She found the boy marking in a Okay. Is anything book? Magnifying glass. Too good. Man. Come on, man. January 63. Ooh, boy. I sure called that, didn't I? When would this a comic dated January 63? No, that would have been, yeah, January 63. And Kennedy was killed in November of 63. So this is Kennedy era. So pretty sure these are reprints from the Golden Age or early 50s. Yeah, these are Black Cat. I always liked this character, Black Cat, and she teaches you how to fight. There are all these pages where she teaches you judo. There's more judo tricks. She was a Hollywood movie star. In the 90s, they started reprinting Black Cat stories again. She just had a really cool costume, really nice, nice art. Oh man, there's a Charlie McCarthy appearance there. How about that? Yeah, I wish I had more of these. I know that. I wonder what these things go for. I need to look into this. And like I was just saying, in the 90s, this was coming out. Now, why anyone would buy a Rob Liefeld comic when in the same store on the same rack is something that looks like that, to me, it was a no-brainer. So It's not that I always make fun of 90s comics. It's not that I ever stopped buying them. I just went to a different part of the store where this stuff was. And what this was Alfred Harvey Presents. And they were printing some of their older stuff. Um, as I recall, it was black and white inside. So they must have maintained the original art or stats of the original art. So that, and then in the 90s, reprinted this stuff for the collector market.
Hey, that's terrific, John. Let me try it.
Um, no, I'm absolutely 100% wrong. It's printed in color inside. This is fantastic. So, yeah, this is what I was buying in the 90s, that and Hate and Eight Ball. But there were so many comics that started coming out reprinting older stuff. And then, of course, I'd go in the back issue bins and buy old Silver Age stuff, whatever I could. Isn't this the story we just saw printed in the comic I just told? Isn't this the exact same splash page? This may have been reprinted from that issue there. Um, and here's a picture of Alfred Harvey. And look at this little, where is that at? Look at that business card.
I'm sorry, Cap.
Alfred Harvey, cartoons that sell.
Come on, you remember that.
Well, I don't know how many. This was something I loved back in the 90s. This is the first issue. Uh, and yeah, I know I've had this. Well, was it the 90s or is this the 80s? Before I start telling you a lie. 1988. Yeah. Welcome to the beginning. This is the first comic magazine to be published by the brand new company Recollections. What better character could we start than the original Black Cat? She debuted in the first Harvey comic, published more than 47 years ago by Alfred Harvey. There's that number again, 47. This comic represents more than a half century of experience in the comics field. It was in 1927, more than 61 years ago, when 13-year-old Alfred Harvey Wiernickoff sold his first advertising cartoon. That was the beginning of a comic book empire that gathered together the greatest artists, writers, and comic book characters in history. The same empire that in 1983 would force its founder, Alfred Harvey, into retirement at age 70. That Alfred Harvey was not ready to retire. 5 years later, the comic book you now hold in your hand represents Alfred Harvey returning to his beloved comic book publishing industry. The release date of the original Black Cat, October 6, 1988, coincides with Alfred Harvey's 75th birthday. We know you will enjoy the original Black Cat as much as we enjoy bringing her to you. This comic magazine is dedicated to the memory of George Baker, Milton Caniff, Chester Gould, Steve Muffatti, Ham Fisher, and Al Avison, whose contributions to the industry we love so much were endless and whose influences will last forever. We love and miss you. Of course, Milton Caniff, I've always pronounced it Caniff, but now I'm thinking maybe it's Caniff. I don't have any idea. It's a name I've always read, and it's an artist I've always loved, but I don't ever hear anyone pronounce it. And if I do on YouTube, how do I know they're pronouncing it right? So, and oh shit, this comic had a tear in it from when it was new, and it was catching on that fricking bag because I don't have a board. I got these My Lights back in the 80s, and that was before they even had comic boards. Maybe they had them, but they weren't really used. And so this book is snug in there, and frick it. These jock cartoons are starting to annoy the hell out of me. All right. Here's issue number 2. Very beautiful comics. I might have all of them. I don't know. Issue 3. I think they were going all out. They were selling shirts with that on them. Is this 4? No, it looks like I'm missing 4. Here's issue 5. And they were starting to. Sad Sack and Company salutes our brave men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces and their allies. We pray for lasting peace. Thanks. God bless you all. Here's issue 10. It's not bagged and boarded, so we can look in this. Let's see if it's still color, because I remember these being black. Yeah, maybe it was only the first issue that was in color. Maybe they decided to cut cost and reprint these in black and white. I was kind of surprised to see that. There's a memo from Alfred Harvey. Alan Harvey. Must be his son. Okay. Where were they based out of? Larchmont, New York. Then, look at this, man. It looks like they started it over. Look at this. This is the Hildebrandt brothers doing the cover. You know, the guys that did the Star Wars poster. So look at that, man. How about that? Alfred Harvey, by this point, had died. He died July 4th, 1994. This is a tribute to him. The spirit lives on. So, again, it's black and white. Lots of pictures of Alfred Harvey. This is, um, yeah, it's like a family album here, you know. And lots. Yeah, this is like a whole biography of Alfred Harvey. There's an ad advertising. He was apparently advertising his cartoon skill, like for commercial advertising. Yeah, this whole section in the middle, he must have just passed away at that point. The founder of Harvey Comics. Oh, in the beginning, they have a news story in color, and the rest of it's black and white reprints from the old days. And it's well drawn. It's not typical horrible modern stuff. And it's oh well, it's Murphy Anderson is the artist. Mark I always pronounce it Evanier in my head, but Evanier probably. Right, I've never pronounced it out loud in my life. Writer, a Sheldorf letterer, Alan Harvey editor, and it's copywritten 1995. So they were definitely trying to bring this Kniff. Okay. He says, I've always pronounced it as Kniff. That's always how I pronounced it growing up, Kniff. And then I just think maybe, but when I was about to pronounce it, then maybe it's Kniff. Kniff. Yeah. That is how I've always pronounced it in my head. It's just I've never in my life if I had an occasion to say that name. It's not like you're out on a date and start talking about Milton Kniff, you know. This is Home for Christmas, Black Cat. This feels very thin. Is this like a free comic book day thing? Yeah, no, it's $2 comic. I think it's printed on super, super thin paper, man. Like Kleenex kind of paper almost. They must have been a cost cutting, but it's aged well for a comic that's decades old. Okay, that's all my Black Cat stuff. Then I moved to Blondie. I want to get the Blondie comic. I've always seen it, and Captain Strangelove just got one where Blondie is like a mermaid, and Dagwood is just like some ugly fish. That's a great cover. Okay, back to the attempt to do superheroes. It's Double Dare Adventures with B-Man. Oh, this is the first Steranko stuff here.
I will trust and not be afraid.
Is this over yet? Come on, Jot. Come on, Jot. Are you over yet? I've got 4 minutes left. This Daisy BB gun looks like a real 22. Um, damn, print small in this comic. What in the name of heck? March 67. Look at these panels here and how tiny the print is. It's insane. I mean, that's okay. Hold on. Um, okay, it's this Magic Master character is somehow it's not Steranko art, but I think there's a part in here that is done by Steranko, like a text, because Steranko was, this he thought of himself as a modern day Harry Houdini and a rock and roll star. He did many other things besides comic art, and I swear it's in this issue.
But we'll try to fix it. Never mind. His father will take care of it. You boys should be ashamed.
Maybe it's a different issue. It might be in the Man Called Fate or whatever. It shows how Magic Master's powers work or something. And
Would you believe that? He says we're known for getting into mischief on the street, and he thought we might have scratched up his car.
look at this insane kid there.
You have to make the best decision you can at the moment. And then don't worry about it. Just remember, a life of doing
Ad for a Batman projector.
Why does Neil say that, John? He's always saying that. It's Neil's favorite Bible verse, Dad. Neil says anything you read in the Bible is true. My dad said that too.
Okay, that's not the issue I thought it was, but it is the Magic Master character that has some. Maybe the character is created by Steranko. I don't remember. Come on, Sean. Okay, now Harvey, the Archie style comic, but it didn't really look 100% like Archie. It's all she's the queen of the in crowd. She's hip, she's mod, she's boss. This really is a good comic. They're not easy to find. I, this is what I found in my life. Is this? I wish I had all the bunnies, but um, it's artwork's really cool.
I'm sure the temp will show off the authority.
There's the haunted house mystery bank.
Give us your peace if we trust in you. Please protect Johnstone Kid from all harm.
Of course, she's a fashion
It is your will.
model.
What's the matter, John?
This provides a lot of entertainment for a little girl,
The last time
and it's real 1960s. In fact, here she's with,
Right.
basically, she's with someone that's
When I got away.
out of this.
You were in the
It looks like this character is like the man from Uncle. This is like Robert Vaughn and David McCallum combined together. This character's got Robert Vaughn's coloring of hair, but David McCallum's hairstyle and David McCallum's face, and he might be part James Bond too. But her boyfriend here is a secret agent. So this is very infused with the spirit, the zeitgeist of the 1960s, and looks like they're going up against an enemy organization called Mush instead of Spectre or Thrush was the enemy in Man from Uncle. So that's very much a Man from Uncle inspired little bit, because Dave McCallum was a heartthrob that was in all the teen magazines. He was the Russian guy that was. Yeah, this comic's in shit condition here. They're just really not good. This next one, is it the one I'm thinking? This next one's in really good shape, and this is one of my favorite covers of all time. This issue of Bunny. If I had a comic wall, this would be on it. A lot of Harveys would be on it. This is issue number 4. That other one was issue number 2. Then I have another one till issue 14. I really want the ones in between. I have that cat print though. Okay, the disc finally ended. Here's issue 20. Okay, then we get to my Casper comics, which is where I need to file a comic. My oldest issue of Casper is number 9. Casper number 9. Early Harvey supernatural kitties had much bigger heads. That's number 9. Um, by the way, that bunny, I saw the girl that had owned it had written her name. It was Esh. It was almost Imsh, but not quite. ESCH was her last name. Here's number 19, and you can see the big head. So this is late 50s. I have a bunch of these from this collection that I got at Duncanville Books. It says Stevie, Monday, 12/14/59, Houston, Texas. No, Houston Townhouse, 1105. The mother wrote the kid's name, the day that it was a Monday, the exact date, and where they were in the Houston Townhouse in 1105. Um, and all the comics I got from this collection are in great shape, and they have the mother's handwriting. And I like the mother's handwriting. I don't consider that a flaw. I'm not going to try to soak the ink off or something. That's part of the history of the comic, and it's a very heartwarming thing. The mother was a little bit obsessive, neurotic, really. I don't know. It's like, this is a historic occasion that I've given. Maybe she just wanted the kid to remember when he got the comic. You know, mothers that grew up in during the Depression, gifts are important. They probably didn't get many when she was a little girl. So for her little boy, Stevie, and I would hope that Stevie wasn't the one that sold this to Duncanville Books. Hopefully, I hate to say, hopefully he had passed away. That sounds horrible, but hopefully he wasn't just getting rid of these comics that had his mother's handwriting on them. I would think that would be kind of not good. Look at how Hot Stuff looked in the early days with the gigantic head. Here you can record your voice at home. That reminds me, Kevin got a recorded record in a pile of Kevin at Gotham City Comics got a recorded record in his pile yesterday, and we were going to listen to it, and then we got distracted by all the other stuff going on yesterday. So, uh, yeah, see, this is what they would do on Sundays. Hi, friends. Please tell me what you like about Maddie's Fun Day Funnies so you can have the best TV show. Yeah, on Sunday morning, they had a Harvey cartoon special on the Harvey cartoons were on Sunday mornings, and they called it Maddie's Fun Day Funnies. It was sponsored by Mattel. So Maddie Mattel was the little character spokesperson of Mattel. So it was sponsored by Mattel, and then Mattel put out little Casper dolls and a Casper little guitar and stuff, and so it looks like what you have on there is Herman and Catnip and Baby Huey, Fox and the Crow, I get whatever that little Audrey, Casper, and Wendy. And this is going to be right around the turn of the decade, 1959, 1960. The cool thing about this is they've got a toy. Where was it? Say toy catalog there. See, Toy Fair. Is that what it says? Top Toy Special. And so they would usually put that in comics a couple of months before Christmas. So this issue is dated March. March 8, March. Okay, I look at this flying helicopter. Usually these toy things, especially in Gold Key, what they would do them, and the Ghostly Trio look a little different too. See, they had a Mutt and Jeff comic too, and that's that Joe Palooka comic that Kevin got for me at the toy convention yesterday. Was also from Harvey. It's probably from right around the same time period when Harvey was doing some Sunday comics from the newspaper, like Mutt and Jeff, which was many years old. Why am I getting a thumbs up all of a sudden? Did I do a thumbs up thing? Okay, whatever.
1, 2, 3, Jot, I found you.
There's a little dot ad.
I won't be it. You aren't playing fair, Jot. She found you and you gotta be it.
Okay, I want to see these toys.
Don't you understand? I just don't want to
Look
be
at.
it all the time.
So, okay, so I guarantee you these are going to be all Mattel toys, more than likely. I could be wrong. Uh,
No, only they won't let me play. Everyone else gets to play, and I always have to be it.
oh, shut up. Shut up, John. Okay.
And I don't have to.
There's a Bat Masterson toy.
See this track trophy? I had to run.
You can get these cool
Always good to be honest.
AMT model kits.
I won't always be a loser. I can be a winner.
Official autographed Western hats
I know.
from Cheyenne, Rawhide, and
The kids are playing. Justin!
Lawman and Sugarfoot. I've never heard of a TV show called Sugarfoot, but this is when there's a Cheyenne singing "Settle Again." I don't know if YouTube likes me showing firearms on live streams. Okay, and then there's Joe Palooka's Little Champ. That's Joe Palooka's son, a doll of his wagon, airport, bicycle. That looks like a pretty cool toy there. And then you can draw your own Harvey comics with that thing. Okay. Oh, they're giving me a link to my own show here on YouTube. Let's see. It says coming up next, Sunrise. My own show here on YouTube. Well, how about that? It says coming up next, Sunrise. How about that? We can watch ourselves on the air. Isn't that amazing? It's pretty incredible. Isn't that incredible? Drew, do you think that's incredible? Yes, I think it's incredible. How incredible do you think it is, Drew? Very incredible. I can't believe it. You can't believe it, Drew? I can't believe it either, man. It's astounding. Incredible. I can't believe it either, man. Wow. Okay, that disc is finalized. Let's see. Okay, so back to okay. Casper number 40. Let's look at this. Since the bag's not sealed, might as well open it up. This may be a multiple episode. I don't know if I want to, how long I want to do this. I wonder if anyone's, if Yeah, kind of depressing to find out our bank account was cleared out by StreamYard. But let me go check. Maybe someone's donated something, and that'll inspire me to keep going. I don't know, guys. Like shit. I was supposed to be out buying some stuff for my wife, but then I found out StreamYard increased their rates by 80%. And didn't tell anyone. I looked it up. There's a bunch of people complaining and shocked on. Did the search for that. What I need to put in here is Casper 133, which is a book I just got in the mail from the Psychotronic guys that sell books for $2. Um, ooh, there's another toy section in this Casper 42. We need to look at the toys. Oh, wait. First of all, let me see what's going on with the Trump rally here. So, right side broadcasting. When are they going live? Okay, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it goes live in 79 minutes at 10 a.m. What time is it now? It's 8:45. Okay. So he's gonna, this is the place saver, Trump rally, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah, great. Watching all these jock cartoons, they're gonna start showing up in my my feed, because they think that I want to see more of it. All right.
For sure, it's very thing. There's nobody over such a long. You can thought about it. Who do you think? I'd have to think short term. People have been abused. Yeah. Most one deal and they're gone. Or something. Yeah. But I've been.
Okay.
I've been doing this for a long time. Right. And I've abused them also. So I do.
This is Casper.
Target them and say I want to go attack
42.
you. I want to go after them. Is that part of strategy that you have, or no? That was just no. If you come after me, I'm going to come after you. I think it's a natural instinct with me. Like it would be for you and other people.
So again, these are going to be Mattel toys, and this one is
I really
February.
I would tell.
Okay, the fact that this is February makes me think that maybe these Harvey comics had more of a window. Well, no, February to January, January to December. Okay, that means this would have come out in December. A comic dated February, so this would come out in December, maybe early December, and then there would be all these pictures of toys in here so that the kids could tell their parents, or just show them in the book, what they wanted. So this is the beginning of the toy section. Again, Mattel, well, it's not all Mattel, actually. Here's an ad for AMT paint for your car model kits. There's flexible flyer sleds.
The numbers were fantastic. Everything was perfect.
Electric speedway race.
Great respect. Shook their hand and it was over.
Electric football. Okay. They still have the guitars.
Way around it.
A science assembly kit for dissecting frogs. Oh boy, would that be! And then you could get a wheelbarrow, scooter, or a wagon here down here.
Why would they want to have a strong border? Why do they want to have men?
Oh, you get puppets of the Harvey characters. That's really good. Boys, girls, we have Harvey top toys and hobbies. I like that Casper as Santa Claus.
Records are held for 18
Goodyear advertises in here for their top bicycle tires.
Because it's so cool.
Chemistry set. I was never someone that wanted a chemistry set for Christmas, but you know, to each their own.
You have to say putts. That's different. Women can putt, but they can't lift, 450 pounds over their head. And the weight
42.
that stood for 18, 19 years gets broken by 100 pounds. They put like a little, they take this top of this pen. See that pen?
This is number 43. Again, it's hard to read these black numbers on these blue cover, bluish, purplish cover. This is a wonderful. Again, it belonged to Stevie. This one was given to him Wednesday, January 24th, 1962.
There's nobody vetted, nobody checked.
I guess these were just presents that the mom gave him and
They weren't supposed to, but they did because they had to.
something.
Because they had to.
It's really a healthy thing to do because these teach your kid to read, you know?
Like a massive.
Casper number 69.
I had the best board in the history of the country. I had the best economy in the history of the country. But you take a look at some of these stats.
Some Casper 87. Someone put down their beer or soft drink directly right on Casper's head.
A man who transitioned.
Yes, this one. Yeah, people that do that too. The Casper art looks a little different here.
I don't understand that.
There are those that can just immediately tell the names of artists. They can immediately tell, oh, that was done by this artist and that artist. They know all the different Harvey artists. Like Milton Knight could do that.
Boy into a girl.
That one has that sweet smell, like
They do this, and at first
causes that sweet smell. There's kind of like a comic I got the other day that made me disgusted. It might be from being in a little girl's room for decades. The smell of the perfume or something. I don't know. Something horrible.
Look, there's such an advantage. The beautiful ocean.
Not a fun smell.
Everything is
Okay.
beautiful.
Guess what number was that? Oh, these aren't in order at all. That's Casper 113. Why are these in order? That's 69. Okay, those are in order. But this number 50 is out of order.
The Democrats had big when they had their convention.
This is wonderful. This isn't. Usually they had drawings by, I think, Russ Heath that showed soldiers fight. Very rarely do they show an actual photograph of what you are getting. This does. I don't think you can fully tell unless you really zoom in that these characters are all flat. They're not 3D. They're like cardboard cutouts of soldiers. Ooh, this artwork's nice. See, this is a different artist. You can tell from the Casper I was just showing you. But I don't know all the names of the artists. And I'd like to learn.
Part of me is not surprised with that. I'm not sitting there thinking I'm surprised with what
This little comic strip would be in the comic forever. Okay, so Casper number 50. I like to play this game where I guess when this came out. I'm gonna guess. I'm feeling 1960. Well, no, it's 12 cents. I was gonna say 19. Let's say I'm gonna go with 62, and I'm gonna go with October of 62 as my guess. And let's find out how close I guessed. I swear I didn't. This is not a setup. I guessed October 62. It is October 62. You're not going to believe that I just guessed that. I know. But here are more TV stations, more to come. Dallas, Texas was on WBAP. I think WBAP was Channel 5. It later turned into, they changed the call signs to KXAS later. These are the list of stations that Casper's cartoons were on.
Number two, big company, very big company.
Interesting.
The oil company left also, taking thousands of jobs.
Yeah.
But my question wasn't that, that he left for whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
did anybody ever call? He said, no.
it's in John F. Kennedy era.
Did he call you at all? Did he
Uh,
call and say, like, can we have dinner? I'd love you to stay here.
was this bagged? This wasn't bagged, was it? It needs to be bagged.
He said, never call.
Okay.
And you're talking about thousands of.
Why did I have this out of order? 42. Yeah, okay.
Elon
See.
invested very strongly.
Oh.
And
Okay.
there's no
50.
investment. He said that
69.
until you get elected, this country's going down the tubes. It might not ever survive. He says the most important. Like,
Okay.
I was honored.
Now,
But I was
this is 108. What we just looked at was 50. 108. That's,
At least you call it, or anything.
58 issues later. So I'm going to guess this is more like.
They asked him, they said, why would you have a meeting with President Trump? Because he's the only president.
I'm going to go with November of 64 on this one.
Of course he's going to have a meeting with the guy's called. Why wouldn't you call the CEO of your...
Oh, shit, I'm way off. It's August of 67. I don't know what I'm thinking. Look at this. I love that. Where he's seeing the skull inside someone's head. This is a different ad than what you normally see. The Grow Live Monsters. I always loved. This ad is one that I would see a lot in ACG comics. Okay, so I'm way off on that. Here's actually a calendar of 1967. Let's see. That, so this is when I would have turned 2. Let's see when I turned 2. April. I turned 2 on a Thursday. That. How about some pretty. Okay, so you look and you realize what time period had the really cool artwork. Look at that, It wasn't this good in the 70s. I mean, it was still good, but whoever this artist is, I mean, there's a house style where, Harvey comics look consistent, but if you really know how to look, you can tell they're a different artist. But there was such a sheer amount of different comics Harvey was putting out that, because look, these are the ones that are on sale right now. There's Bunny. Oh, there's when Harvey tried to do the Spirit, Will Eisner's Spirit. They did 2 issues of that. There's Sad Sack, Richie Rich, Wendy. I mean, there's another Richie Rich. I mean, you could just never, another Richie Rich. There were just too many to get them all. That would be a real challenge. Someone that wants to get all of the Richie Rich comics. I mean, you just never could. Ooh, this is a good one coming up. This is one of my favorite comic covers here. It's got the space element, the train element that I love, and all the different color lettering. This is one I would have on a comic wall as well. There's a bunch of Harveys. Like I said, this is whatever, that Bunny and this one would both be on a comic wall. Very different from what the average, person would put on a comic. Oh, wow. I have 2 copies of this issue. And 145. Okay, what was the one I was wanting to put in? Man, that doesn't look very different, does it? This is 133. So you could almost make that into do animation with these drawings. Okay, so that's how you can never really tell, like, do I have this issue or not? because a lot of times covers look so similar. 133, 145.
Pay 10 cents and I gave 100.
Say, have you done it to the GoFundMe yet? Is it still there?
But I said, you gotta gradually move your company here.
Yeah, please, seriously, if you would help me out and just, because our bank account could possibly be overdrawn because of StreamYard. 133.
Just find us $15 billion. I said, that's a lot. I know because I get fined too.
And if you want me to continue on doing these live streams for ridiculously long periods of time, then help me out with that, because there's no way I can justify $45 a month to StreamYard. That's might as well be cable television. Well, maybe cable television now. What is it? Probably $100 or more. But I remember $19, $20 a month. Maybe it will be again if this man gets back. And if what am I talking about? If that's I shut up, man. Here's 159.
Something that's very important. I don't know because China was building massive plants in Mexico. And I let them massive, the biggest plants in the world. And my friend
Here's
actually building it.
160. I think we're probably into the 70s by now.
Right, I heard. And you know why? Because of me. And if they built that, there would be no more Detroit.
This
Decimated over the years.
is my comic. This is the first one you've seen today that I've had since I was a kid. This is a comic that this is my childhood copy. Everything else I got later in life. But there was some link up between NASA and Harvey where I know there was between Charles Schultz and NASA, because there was Snoopy on the moon merchandise and Snoopy, doll with the space helmet, and but there was also with Casper. I don't know if they painted Casper on the side of one of the spacecraft, something that landed on the moon, something where there were so many covers from around 1969, 70 with Casper on the moon. And then they put out all these 45 RPM records that you could buy through Harvey with songs about these characters that were actually pretty good. And one was What You Doing on the Moon, Casper, which I could play for you because I'm not recording this Trump thing here. Man, my eyesight has just deteriorated all of a sudden out of nowhere. Okay, so this is my childhood copy. And let's see, I'm thinking this is from 1970. Yeah, let's go with February of 71. This is going to be one of the first comics in my collection. Like I've always told you, I started with Harvey and 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 horror comics. And this is in a way a horror comic. I mean, it is about ghosts and witches, right? July of 72. What did I say? I said 71, but what month did I say? I'm pretty close. Okay, July of 72. Okay. Um, that would be um, right as I finished first grade and I was about to go into second grade. This is in the middle of summer vacation. This is probably one of the last comics I bought before we got on the plane and went from Germany to Hampton, Virginia. So I might have bought this when we arrived in Hampton, Virginia, or it's around that transition time. So it's and so someone that just finished first grade, I think I did a pretty good job keeping this comic intact. Well, yeah, yeah, I think a lot of kids that age would have destroyed this book. Yeah. Congratulations to myself. I'll pat myself on the back for my early my control. Yeah. How about that? Casper the Friendly Ghost, number 162 was my first. No, is it my
Grace be
first?
unto you and peace from God our Father and from the Lord Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Darth Vader. This is maybe not my first Casper comic, but it's because there's so many different Casper titles, but it's my first copy of Casper's flagship title. Okay, what the heck? Well, where are all my 1970s Caspers, man? What is going on? Oh, there's still lots of Caspers coming up, but okay, then it goes to 202, which is, you know, he's in space, but that mars the cover, and that's ugly. I preferred when they had the little TV sets with them in it, which was reminding you we're on television too. But inside, it's pretty great. You know, I just don't want to knock it. This is from probably, I'm guessing, December of 76. What do you think? I wish, oh, this is not a childhood copy. It's got a little stickiness to some kid with sticky fingers for yuck, man. What did this damn kid do? Yeah, this is freaking disgusting. Fucking scumbag. Piece of trash. Communist. Mem- Ugh, man, these kids. That's the problem. You want to get comics that were owned by kids that were fastidious like me, but some kids have sticky fingers. Some kids eat their boogers, and some kids are total swine, and they don't treat comics well. Uh, oh, it's February '79. It's even worse. It's too far into the. Okay, now this you don't know what it is because the title's been cut off. It says it's number 79. This doesn't help you on the spine. It says fast moving tales of ghostly fun. So we've got to look at the indicia. And there is, it must be on the next page, not in the typical. Okay. Several pages in, you have the indicia, if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably aren't. July of 74, it's Casper's Ghostland. So it is not Casper proper, it's Casper's Ghostland. Casper also was tied in with the Cub Scouts and with UNICEF and somehow with NASA. Um, you know, if these are in like quarter bins or dollar bins, I'll pick them up, but usually I don't like them later period things. What's that noise? Oh, that's the heater kicking on. Is it cold outside? Um, this is later period. It's issue 254. The art's not bad. Um, oh, here's Casper 258 from the video game era, from the arcade. There he is in an arcade. I bet you never thought you'd see him in an arcade. The logo's different, you know. It's no longer something of my childhood. It's here the logo's completely different and strange looking. Um, this I think is when they restarted Harvey. This is Casper the Friendly Ghost, number 8. This is probably from the 90s. This is number 3. It says Harvey Classics, so that would be before the last one. Um, and then they had a Casper movie in modern times. It may have been the '90s, and then a lot of people only know Casper from that. I didn't. I never watched it. It looked wrong to me because Casper didn't have feet. He was more like a ghost that kind of trailed off. He didn't have a whole physical body. I don't know. But these aren't in order because I didn't really care to put them in order because I don't really. Um, this is number 4. You can tell it's reprints of really old stuff because of the size of his head. That's a 1950s giant size Casper head. These are probably. Oh, this is Casper 257. So I need to put that with the original run. 254, 257. This is number 7. I'm pretty sure these are all just reprints because this is Harvey Classics. Oh, that sweet smell I'm smelling is because I sprayed that Febreze on the couch. That's why I'm smelling. I'm thinking I'm smelling the comics, but I sprayed that because the turd. It- you have to watch the beginning of the show to know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is Casper 207, 209. This is from the 40-cent era. 207. Let's put these in here. Okay, whatever. Casper and Friends, a good rocket cover, but it's just too current. It's too modern. I like the older stuff. And then here's an older one, Casper and Spooky, the Tough Little Ghost, number 1. This is 20 cents. I was guessing this was a 60s comic, but 20 cents would put it more in the probably 72, 73. It's a title, Casper and Spooky. They're double billed here. Like I said, a lot of these rocket covers. And here's Casper in space with a scaring some Sputnik type satellite. Um, and outer space stuff within. Oh, there's the records that I was trying to tell you about that they used to sell. There was a Sad Sack record that was Windy, and then there's the record there that What You Doing on the Moon, Casper, and let's see, how did they sell these? They're now ready, only $1. Um, just $1 for 2 hit songs and 2 free comic books. You got comics with the records, and this is June '73. They're acting like the records are just coming out? I thought they were older than that. Of course, with Nightmare, his horse, he was always in outer space. That's an outstanding cover. Purple cover, outer space, Casper's horse, Nightmare. Wonderful stuff. Um, this one was a childhood purchase. I remember this one. This is my childhood copy. Um, and it's September of what are you saying? I can't tell if that's 72 or 73. 73. So that would be the beginning of 3rd grade. I was still reading these things in 3rd grade, so you can make fun of me in the comment section. I love these iron-ons that you could get. Some of them are kind of counterculture and maybe slightly inappropriate to be being sold, and like the master and slave rebel flag. Is that um, well? I guess they're not that bad. It's just it was a different time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, wonderful. And here's the. I bought this when I was a kid too. Casper, and I was never a Cub Scout, but Casper would hawk that stuff. This issue reprints the first two issues of Casper, which of course can't afford. This is a childhood copy as well. Casper's Ghostland. He was on the moon, and yeah, it says look for me on the moon. What was the deal? This was like I said, a childhood copy. I don't really. It would just take a quick search on the internet. Wikipedia would probably tell you what exactly the whole thing was with Casper and the moon and NASA, but a lot of this outer space stuff in this. This one, I'll say October 72. What do you guys think? I'm guessing October, beginning of second grade. What do we got here? July of 72. I'm only 3 months off. Uh, Gratu, I'm now convinced that Richard Linklater stole your swagger. You're far cooler than he is. Remind me who Richard Linklater is. Richard Linklater. Richard Linklater. Oh, yeah. I know who Art Linkletter is. Um, is Richard Linklater, doesn't he make art films like from Austin? Is he the guy that made Dazed and Confused and stuff? Film director. Yeah, oh, yeah. Slacker. What? He made Dazed and Confused, right? Yeah, yeah, I knew the name was familiar. Yeah, Slacker. Isn't he? I thought he was from Austin. Yeah, he's from East Texas. Yeah, Richard Linklater. I like him as a director. I don't know. He stole my sweat. You mean in the way he acts? I don't know how. I don't know if I've seen interviews. I'm sure I have. I love Dazed and Confused. But okay, we got to look up Harvey Comics records. All this is on YouTube. Just about anything you want to find is on YouTube. It's 10 yet. I gotta wake my wife up at 10. It would be really cool if someone has donated to the GoFundMe when I wake her up and say, hey, we don't have to worry about the bank anymore. My fans have taken care of it. My fans. It's ridiculous. I would, but if someone could help, man. Let's see, Harvey. If you're entertained by the 9-hour streams I do, help me out because StreamYard has struck and raised their rates from $25 to $45. Like, not good. Not good. Not fair. Harvey Comics. I'm spelling it out on the Roku. Records. Curds. Here they are. There's the hot stuff one, the baby Huey. There's the Casper one. Someone's made a video for it. Anyway, you can turn that. Let's see what people are saying here. Film director, Slacker, Bernie. What Waking Life? I don't know Bernie. He's from East Texas. Didn't he do a movie? Was it him that did the movie about the kid growing up and he filmed it over a span of about 7, 8 years? So the actors actually got older during the movie and you didn't have to use makeup. I think it was called, was that him? There was some director that did that movie. Something like that. Yes, you are a cooler version of him. He went to UT with the Owen brothers. They were part of the art scene that made Texas cool in the creative world, late '80s, early '90s. Wilson brothers, not Owen. Goof on my part there. Most of those guys were the product of St. Mark's Academy at one point or another. Then Bronco Bear says, "Somebody talking about Linkletter in here? Nice." Then Zork says, "Wes Anderson was also part of that group." Bronco Bear says, "Wes is great." Then Zork says, "I think Ratu and I were in those groups at points in our past." Um, yeah. Then he says, "But I think they were all trying to copy some of what Gratu has naturally." Yes, that Branco says, "Yes, that's Boyhood." Yes, Wes Anderson is that guy. And then Zork says, "No, I'm confused. Linkletter did that one." Okay. Branco said, "Linkletter did Boyhood and the kid that aged about 13 years." Zork says, "Anderson and Linkletter are like the same person in my mind." Yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, same with me. I don't. Zork says Gratu should have been in Bottle Rocket. Yeah. Well, um, the thing, hot stuff. We haven't gotten to the hot stuff comics yet, but hot stuff. Because it's like these comics would come in sometimes. The comic store that I would go to, not Lone Star, another store. It's like whenever he got Harvey comics, he just knew these aren't going to sell. It's up to that one guy, me. And he says the only people I sell Harvey comics to, other than you, are like these women that come in wanting to get hot stuff comics to take to the tattoo parlor to get a tattoo of hot stuff. Because like every truck stop waitress, that would be the that wants a hot stuff, But it's weird that hot stuff was never made into a cartoon. And as I recall, if this is the same video, it's you see it on your television and you think, why was there never a hot stuff cartoon with maybe this as its theme song? It's one of those things that just like, why was there never a little dot cartoon or but anyway, this is pretty good too. I don't think these get copyright claims because I used to play these in the background on my show back in Texas, and nothing ever. Let's see what happens. I hope this stuff's not waking my wife up. Yeah. So, what kind of shitty music were you playing down there? Well, it was the hot stuff theme, the theme for a cartoon that never existed. Those are the records that they were advertising. I've never seen one in person for sale. I imagine you get them on eBay, but you can just record them right off of YouTube. Let's see. People are starting to be very active in the chat here. What are they saying here? Um, Grotto should have been in Bottle Rocket. Then Bronco says, Wes Anderson is like the Federico Fellini of Texas. Zork says, my aunt taught at St. Mark's and had most of them in her class at one point or another. Not Anderson, though. He went to the Houston version of St. Mark's. The name escapes me. Then Bronco Bear says, I can see Grotto and Bob Mapplethorpe in Bottle Rocket being friends. Zork says, they were all local Texas boys, though. Yes, Bronco Bear, me as well. He would have been part of that gang. Gratu is on the lam. Then Bronco Bear says, Gratu with tape on his nose robbing a place. Ha ha. Then Zork says, we should get Anderson and Linkletter on here to watch Gratu. I bet they'd write him into their next project. Bronco says, I love Bottle Rocket. I listen to the soundtrack every day on the way to school when I was in high school. I don't know if I've seen Bottle Rocket. I don't know. I've seen, I haven't seen all these movies. Zork says, after that, Gratu makes the films. Bronco says, Gratu would have been a great charger in Asteroid City. Is Asteroid City? That was a movie recently, right? About the mid-century looking city. Is that what that was? You guys are. I don't know, man. Zork, you need to be famous, Gratu. Yeah, well, uh, character. You have it, Gratu. Bronco says, Gratu definitely needs to direct a film. It's about all people. Okay, you're cool. I'll watch it then. Before I thought the closest that came to me was the character of Seymour in Ghost World, which I don't know if that's a flattering portrayal or not. This the guy's half insane. Here's a beat up special collector's issue. It's up. So I'll let Comic Tom know about this, that this is a key issue. This is not a childhood copy. I got this for I may have been given this free by a comic store owner that just says, just take it away from me so I don't have to throw it in the trash. It's reprints of old stuff, you know. I tell you, what's your favorite Kubrick film? It's hard for me to do the favorite game because Kubrick's a director that it's so many great films and so many different kinds of films. I They're all completely different, and it's just I just say, well, I like Kubrick. I don't really know how to say what my favorite film is. Bronco says, Seymour is a great character, and any dude who charms Thora Birch is a winner to me. Whatever happened to Thora Birch? She continued in acting. Here's one I got at Duncanville Books for $5. Might no, that's not the five. That's not Duncanville Books. This is from Collected Comics in Fort Worth. Um, when I got these bags that seal, I couldn't figure out how does this seal. I didn't understand that I had to grab a strip. I'm not too smart sometimes. So I have this taped shut, but it's actually a resealable bag. So I need to take when I find one like this, it's from the time period when I was confused before someone showed me, you just pulled a strip off, stupid. So I'm taking the tape off because then I can actually use it the way it's supposed to. But I want to open this up. Looking at this book, I'm going to guess this is a nice shape, nice and glossy. I'm going to guess this is a 1973 book, and I'm going to guess November 73. And am I correct? Oh, that's not going to work. That makes it worse. This is what I need. Ooh, I'm real off. September 69. Um, New ramjet engine burns gasoline. Will that help us, Zork, during the apocalypse in the next few months? I wonder what here on the from the Johnson Smith Company will help us. Um, there's a secret listener. Look at that. What does it do? I think it's to spy on your neighbors. Hear normal talking 50 feet away. Hours of fun eavesdropping, hearing birds, animals, night crawlers, even noiseless sounds in the dark, styled after army detectors. Point reflector sound gathering gun toward any sound. Big ear picks up electronically amplifies as you listen through two earphones, easy to carry and conceal. It's called the Transistor Electronic Sound Collector. It's $8.95. Wow. Incredible, incredible stuff you could get. What are people saying here? Bronco says Thora Birch was on Walking Dead for a little bit. That's last I saw of her recently. I wonder how she aged. Laugh out loud. Zork says, I still tape mine. I haven't even evolved to that point, Grotu. Well, yeah. So, what? That sounds like you actually have comics then, Zork. Yes, we must have one of those ram jets. Zork says, I can't tell you why just now. Ordered it on blind faith. Well, it's a 1969 comic, so I don't know if Johnson Smith is still someone, 11 people watching. So I'll never remember to do this after the show, but someone could like look and see if Johnson Smith is still in operation. They've been around since like over 100 years. Zork, we'll probably affix it to a go-kart or perhaps a green machine, making our escape in it, of course. Yeah, it's a 1969 comic here, man. Incredible. Wow. What the hell? Oh, Wendy put a pig's tail on Spooky. It looks it looks a little disturbing because it's kind of brown colored. It kind of looks like he's pooping out something, or his intestines are coming out of his ass. Yeah, 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 buddy. Oh no. It was a victim of the pandemic, it looks like. 2019, Johnson Smith shuts his store after 105 years in business. Or that sucks, man. Oh, this belonged to Sandra. I have a bunch of Harvey comics that belong to Sandra. 2019, they ended. Oh, here's. Oh, of course, Kevin would know. He's up now. Um, Now someone do the research on why "Look for Me on the Moon" thing was Casper painted on the actual landing module or something as the promotional thing. There's something about that, and that's why Casper's always. Oh, this is a great cover too. This is actually misfiled because this is not Casper and Nightmare of the Galloping Ghost. It's a comic called Harvey Hits, and Harvey Hits had some great stuff. It's like DC Showcase or Marvel Spotlight. It would have different characters each month or each issue. And Harvey Hits, I need to pull this aside and file it under the H's. Zork says, Kamala has robbed us of ramjet technology. Then Zork says, thanks, Obama. Yeah. Um, this is the GoFundMe that will help us continue to stream. Because if you just tuned in, StreamYard has raised their rates 80%, and it's suddenly like a cable bill. It's like $45 instead of 25. And 25 was hard enough to justify to the wife, but then Meyer was secretly funding and sending a check, hey, because I want to keep your channel going. Or well, the channel will keep going. It just be shorter segments, shorter live streams, because you get 20 hours a month. And I've actually got two accounts, so I could switch from one account to the other. I could start use up my 20 hours on the phone and use 20 hours on my laptop upstairs, except the L stopped working. If I get a separate keyboard and plug it into the laptop, then I guess it's because I can't type Orloff. And it's very frustrating to not be able to use the letter L. Um, so whatever. Um, Whatever, dude. Let's see what people are saying. It says new comments. Bronco Bear says, "See any good movies lately, Gratu? I watched Wyatt Earp last night with Costner." Uh, I don't think I've never seen that movie. I have to go fight a woman. I'll be back a bit later. Bronco says, "Just use the letter I instead of L, Grat." Use the letter I. I. Oh. Yeah, but I want to use the letter L because who knows whatever else I want to spell. I gotta get your maybe we can't do things on this channel in such a bootleg manner. Here's a great cover, except for the little piece missing there. And covers with Nightmare, the galloping ghost horse, are usually in outer space a lot of times. That's kind of bizarre. So showing them both cut in half. That seems like this could have given nightmares to some kids. Oh, again, it's taped. One shouldn't be. Harvey Hits. The hits just keep on coming. And maybe I'll stumble on that Stranko issue. I've got it in the stream around I got shit. I was supposed to go to the store. I can't do that because everything is overdrawn now. Thank you, StreamYard. Okay. This is Casper and Nightmare number 38. Why is he inside the horse? I guess because he can. I can't do that. Why not? Harvey did this. Did they had their license to do the Blondie. This is a 10 center, so it's from the 50s. Okay, what are these humans saying here? Terry Davis says, I spilled soda on my laptop keyboard so it wouldn't work. Laptop still was okay, so I bought a wireless keyboard. Problem solved. That's what I need to do. But of course, you you can't do that when StreamYard sucks the last month. We have some money coming in, but we're gonna have a few days of very lean times unless someone donates to the GoFundMe. And when I wake Cleo up in an hour, I demand that you donate to the GoFundMe to help out Cleo, and then most of you already donated, so I'm just kidding. Fucking um Phrygian. Bronco says, what flavored soda, Gary Davis? Diet Coke. Bronco Bear says, a wireless keyboard is a great idea. Grot should do that. Oh, wireless, man, I don't know. I don't need any more radio signals going through my body, man, messing up my DNA. I'll just plug it right into the laptop, man. Man, look, one of the prizes, it's the 50s when one of the because you see this ad, they had it in the 70s, except the kids didn't look quite as 50s. Actually, that's what kids look like today again. At least they do here. But look at the guitar. Look, you can become Elvis. You see that? You didn't. So this is definitely 50s, plus the fact that it says 10 cents. So again, late 50s. I'm going to say 1950. I was going to say 58, 59. I'm summoning my inner Edgar Casey. I'm contacting Michael the Archangel. I'm just kidding. Not that it's not possible to contact Michael the Archangel. That's what David Wilcock does, but I'm not trying to be blasphemous. I'm just trying to. 1958. Feeling March of 58. Am I correct? Come on, spirit of Gene Dixon. March. Ooh, there's a spine. That's what they call a spine split. I didn't do it. It was already there. When you go to mycomicshop.com and they say 2-inch spine split, that's what they're talking about. They must have a little ruler. What is this, man? Oh shit, I'm real off. November 61. Yeah, but inside it's Sunday. Uh, it's reprints of the newspaper strip, which is easy to do. It's um, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. They must draw in a little splash panel. I, where are they? This story looks like it's maybe written for the comic. Yeah, no, it's not a Sunday. No, that's a standard comic story, but it's done in the style pretty close to the style of the comic that appeared in the newspaper. Look, wanted a Falcon Ranchero. Reward $1 million worth of fun. Hey, Elon Musk is giving out $1 million every day until the election to people that sign some petition. Um, I need to figure out how to sign that petition, man. Oh, they also were doing a Felix the Cat comic there at the same time that the the new Felix the Cat cartoon was the mid-century Felix the Cat that we all grew up with, with the Felix the Cat, wonderful, wonderful. That Felix the Cat goes back to the silent movie era, and a Felix the Cat doll was the very first thing ever broadcast by television. They were testing the television camera. They aimed it at a Felix the Cat doll. So Felix the Cat has some street cred going back. Bronco Bear, I think I already read this comment. Yes, I should get that. Okay, here's a Dick Tracy comic. It doesn't have a cover. It's from April of 63. Is that 61? April 61. Now, Kevin just got me one of these at the toy show yesterday, and I'm going to pay him back in a few days. I think Friday is what my wife said. Friday, I'm off. I don't work Friday. And so I'll be hanging out with my wife that day. We're both going to go vote on that day. Trump was saying vote on election day so they can't, so they get overwhelmed and they can't. But now he's saying vote early, and if they try to do some scary event around election day to make people scared to go to the polls, maybe it's better to do it now. This comic is pretty trash. This page is someone ordered the Revolutionary War soldiers, and then this was cut, and the cover is gone, but it's still, this is what the interior of a Harvey. This is 100% newspaper. These are daily newspaper strips. I mean, they drew this splash page in, but everything else is this is, yeah. Oh, well, I got this for nothing, I think. You would rather have a cover. Yes, I know that. Um, oh, I need to check on chemtrails outside. Oh shit! See, I don't have it. That's why you don't want to shit cut out because it gets caught. All these cuts get caught when you're trying to put it back into the dams. Yeah. God, pieces of shit. Um, I don't think I've ever removed this comic from the bag because it's like half price books. Apparently, they put this for sale on January 2011 for $3. They sealed it insanely because they didn't want someone in the store taking it out of the bag. This is not good material that they used. I'm going to remove this. Every time I just look at it and just go, oh, it's just I'm in disgust with how much tape is on it. This is almost like it's weird. I can't even find a catching place. It's all in. It's almost like removing a comic from its slab. It's so daunting. I got the scissors slipped in. We're gonna get this book out of here, man. Half price books. The people that work there don't know how to, they don't know much about comics. Um, they look up the comics and then they put the valuable ones in their nostalgia section. Uh, Half price books is started in Dallas. They're a great store, but um, but they're only as great as what the local people in that town bring into the store. And I went to a half price books near here, and it was it wasn't very good, but it might have just been they've got two boards that are taped together. What are they even thinking? Oh, I know why. Because the comic was wider. It's more a golden age width. So in order to make it stretch across the whole span of the comic, they had that's their clever solution. Well, so this is just going to be deep sixth in the trash, and this comic's going to be unbagged and boarded until um, such a time as I actually am able to buy bags and boards, which will be clearly in the next presidential administration. Yeah, this ad is weird. It's almost like it was done by AI because this kid and this kid are the same kid, and then the girl is the same kid with a wig on. I mean, it's it's like bizarre. See me on TV. So what's inside? Oh, they charge $3, and it's got this. And of course, they don't tell you that it's missing a whole ad, half a page here. But this is the what you got here as far as the art. That's some comics that will never be reprinted. That's some stereotyping going on there. Uh, as far as there's hot stuff in his early incarnation, the giant head. This is going to be. I always like this cat that just looks insane. This girl cat. I like that character. Um, because it's like a cat that doesn't look like it has any hair. It looks like it's got human skin, but then pointy ears. Of course, no cartoon cat really looks like it has fur. It's just okay. So when is this from? 10 cent. So it's before the end of 1961. I'm going to go with 1960, and I'm going to go with July of 60. Am I right? September 60. I'm only off by 2 months. I'm doing pretty good today. What are people saying here? Zork says, Krotu Orloff, gentleman collector, civilized sportsman. That's cool. I'm going to have to remember that. Um, Bronco says, is that kid AI generated kid Jesse Plemons? You got to help me with these references. I don't think I ever knew who Jesse Plemons is. Zork, we've got too much riffraff skulking the aisles of comic book stores these days. um, yeah, yeah. The old days, old comic stores, everybody looked like Roy Thomas. There's a great video on YouTube that shows a comic book store in like the late 60s. I think it's in Canada. Let's see if I can find that. It's like Captain Billy's or something. Um, maybe I'll type in vintage comic store and I'll find it. Boy, it would be cool if I could find some footage of the old Lone Star Comics when it first opened in the 70s. Um, should I put vintage or 1960s? It's a black and white news clip, and this guy's saying, "I appreciate the art in these books. Some of it is equivalent of the Sistine Chapel, something like that." I'm exaggerating it a bit, but you'll see if we can find it. Vintage. Oh, shit. I gotta wake up Cleo in a minute. Comic book store. I may, I don't know, I've got to look at that video, that long 4-hour Halloween thing that Gary Davis had discovered. I've got to look at that. Vintage comic bookstore. Oh, I heard a noise. It's either the neighbors or my wife upstairs waking up. Could have been a car door closing from next door. Store. Will I find it? Let's hit search. Cross our fingers. Okay. Let's take a look at what we're finding here. This one says oldest comic book store in Texas. Oh, it might be this one, collecting comic books in 1970. Let's see. Yeah, we found it.
In Toronto's Markham Street Village.
Let me turn the sound up.
Our comic books. Superman.
Okay, let me rewind. Yeah, it's from 1970. So this will show, this may be the oldest footage on YouTube, or maybe this may be the oldest footage of a comic book store in existence. And anyway, it's a store called Memory Lane in Canada.
At Memory Lane Publishing in Toronto's Markham Street Village, the antiques are comic books. Superman, Batman, Captain Marvel. And the proprietor is George Henderson, or as he's better known, Captain George. I've been in business 4.5 years, and when I came into the business, the fad, or what you want to call it, was at its peak, but it's been going, I would say, since about 1951. It was underground then. Now it's above ground. The people aren't embarrassed anymore about admitting that they collect comic books. What would you classify as an antique comic book? What do the collectors go after? A legitimate antique comic book is anything dated from 1945 to 1933. It's a legitimate antique because comic books themselves, as we know it, that sort of a comic book only started in 1933. So therefore, an antique, it doesn't have to be 100 years old. It has to be near the beginning. So 1933 to 1945. And just how much do they sell for these antiques? What do collectors pay for them? Well, take for instance the Batman #1, which everybody talks about, everybody wants. I've gotten $250 for it. It's actually going for about $200 now, $200 for Batman #1, which was spring 1940. Superman #1, which was in the spring of 1939. I see low prices of about 125, but I also see where it's going for something like 300. It depends on who's selling it and who's buying it. One avid collector is George Olszewski. I collect old comic books because they're rare. They're interesting because they're precursors of the modern day comics that we have. And it's just sort of a collecting instinct. I like to have them. It's very interesting. Also, the artwork in comics is quite exceptional nowadays. I have seen comic art which would compare favorably to engravings by Doré, for example, in his illustrations to the Divine Comedy. Rare comic books are reaching such value that collectors are beginning to have trouble with thieves. But as George Henderson points out, sometimes it's hard to get anyone to take the theft seriously. Stan Ratton, CBC News.
Anyway, so that's if you want to find that, it looks like it's in CBC, which must be Canadian Broadcasting Company. Well, just type in collecting, the name of it, collecting comic books in 1970, if you want to watch that, or download it, or whatever you do with your. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Um, Zork says, I always ended up in Bill's books in Duncanville for comics. Bill was a very mild-mannered man, wire rim glasses, skinny, pencil-thin mustachio. I suspect that he led a wild double life, though. Ferrari, two babes, leopard print, smoking jacket, etc. Then he says, oh my God, it's Bill. I'll F out loud. I keyed, but it looks like Bill, and about 30 extra pounds on him. I'm surprised Harlan Ellison isn't in this. Yeah, I think that's what comic book store owners would have looked like then. It's what comic collectors look like then. Um, then in the 70s, comic collectors were these kind of nerdy hippie types, looked like Roy Thomas, with that tried to grow their hair out, but it was kind of a little too straight to look cool. It wasn't, you know. Um, the comic book creator that looked the most like a rock star would be Von Baudet that did Cheech Wizard. I mean, he looked like he was Jim Morrison with this long flowing hair, and then Jim Steranko was more of a conventional man's man, looking like a tough guy, except for the fact that he was very short in stature. But he looked, um, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just checking on chemtrails. I don't think they're doing it today. I think they take a day of rest. The Moloch worshippers rest on Sunday. Um, yeah, the sky looks pretty pure today. Um, so we're getting hit again all over today. Seriously. Oh, um, I'm going to sign off because my wife's got to get up here in a minute. And man, if someone could help with that GoFundMe, if you could rewind and look at the little thing, and or maybe I'll put a link under this video once it uploads, but it will really help because, you know, this hobby of mine doing the live streaming creates enough problems and stress, and but then if I could say, well, hey, some nice people donated, they appreciate my show enough to donate a couple of bucks. Then she says, oh, well, that's great. Those people are really wonderful. I like that you're doing the live stream. But it's mainly StreamYard just jacking up the price just without even telling us. And then all of a sudden, then I can't. I, okay, so today, obviously there's a Trump rally. Has it started yet? The coverage yet? Let's see. You go to Right Side Broadcasting Network. Oh, they're already live. No, they aren't, but it will be soon. Town hall. Oh, it's not a rally. It's a town hall in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But what should be really interesting is David Wilcock this afternoon. Um, um, he went a long time last week. Um, so you go to David Wilcock, and then this is his upcoming live stream here. And it says War is Coming, and it's live in 3 hours, October 20th, 1 p.m. That's my time. So that's what I'm going to be watching. I'll have Trump on one device and like that. So I've got to I've got to go, man. But oh, he's been tracking the chemtrails, real fishing life on YouTube. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. What's going on with that chemtrail thing was yesterday was insane. So I guess I'm gonna run. I'll see you guys real soon. Take care.